My beautiful little man, you're asking the question, why did I attract a woman that is unbalanced in their divine energies? Energy and consciousness play vital roles in how we interact with the universe and the experiences that we attract. Every individual has both feminine and masculine energies within them, regardless if they're female or male. When the feminine energy is out of balance, it can lead to passivity, oversensitivity, and a lack of boundaries. When the masculine energy is out of balance, it can lead to aggression, dominance, control, and emotional suppression. Past trauma can echo into your present, pulling you towards familiar energies. Societal conditioning teaches you to seek what's familiar, not what is balanced. Your personal journey of growth is attracting others hoping to grow. But it's not just about understanding why. It's about recognizing healing. Everything is energy, and like is going to attract like. Men who are predominantly in their feminine energy will manifest some of the following: lack of boundaries. Being overly receptive and open is going to make it a challenge to set and maintain personal boundaries. And this is why you're attracting women who take advantage of your openness. You might be over nurturing. The desire to care for and to nurture them might lead to neglecting your own needs, and you attract the woman who is more likely to take from you than to give for you. A lack of your assertiveness and confidence attracted that dominant woman with that personality who likes to take control in unhealthy ways. If your feminine energy is overpowering their masculine energy, that creates an imbalance, and it attracts that woman who's going to mirror that imbalance. And this can manifest as a woman who is overly dominant. So they have an excess masculine energy, or they're overly passive, an excess feminine energy. And that leads to unhealthy relationship dynamics. And I want to talk about karma. You might not believe it, but believe it. There is a past when we were here. We had life experiences in previous lives. And a man that is in his feminine energy is currently working through karmic issues that relate to these energies. And you're being asked to work on these things. Now, there are a number of reasons and motivations and circumstances that may cause some people, regardless of the genders, to act out and treat others poorly. There are some reasons why some women might act with disrespect or negativity towards men. And I'm going to give you examples. The power dynamic. In situations where women have felt powerless, gaining a semblance of control or authority, it might lead them to exert in unhealthy ways. And what do you as a man need to know? You need to recognize the power dynamics and be more of not perpetuating or endorsing them, even unintentionally. If a woman is part of a group or a community where negative behaviors or attitudes towards men are normalized, she might adapt similar behaviors. You need to understand the influence of group dynamics and to try to approach these types of people as unique entities distinct from the collective. Over time, if a woman has felt constantly criticized or demeaned, she may develop a defense posture which can come off as disrespect. You need to avoid criticism that isn't constructive. You need to seek and reassure and build trust. External stressors like work, health, or financial problems can make a woman lash out, even if the recipient of their negativity isn't the cause of their stress. You need to recognize that everyone has off days. You need to be patient and supportive in order to diffuse the tension. In some cultures or societies, it's normalized or even encouraged for women to behave dismissively or negatively towards men. You need to be aware of cultural nuisances and seek to understand and respect them while advocating for mutual respect. Sometimes individuals might not be aware that their behavior is harmful or even disrespectful. And you are required to have open communication. If someone is unaware of the impact of their actions, a small conversation might give them some enlightenment. Disorders or conditions like anxiety, depression, borderline personality disorder, and any others, they can influence a person's behavior. It might not be a direct intent to disrespect, but it is a symptom of a deeper issue. Men, you need to be sensitive to the possibility of underlying mental health issues, and you need to approach situations with compassion. A woman might have faced abuse, betrayal, or mistreatment from a man or men in her past, and this could cause her to generalize her feelings of hurt and mistrust towards other men. Experiences like sexual assault, emotional manipulation, or even domestic violence can leave long-lasting psychological scars. And what can you learn from that? You can recognize the importance of consent, communication, and emotional support. It's vital to understand that past traumas can influence present interactions and to approach relationships with patience and understanding. Societal conditioning is very important because society often portrays men as dominant, emotionless, or even aggressive. Some women might internalize these stereotypes and feel the need to fight back preemptively. Right now, women are living in a patriarchal society, and that is quite challenging for a lot of women, as they are feeling oppressed or marginalized. Men, you need to challenge societal norms by showing vulnerability, expressing your emotions, and you need to actively fight against all this toxic masculinity. Some women may disrespect or they may mistreat a man out of fear, thinking it's a way to protect themselves from potential harm. That fear might stem from previous negative experiences with men or from societal warnings about men's potential for violence. You can work to create safe spaces and establish trust. Demonstrate understanding and empathy that can help alleviate some of these fears. Sometimes what is perceived as disrespect or mistreatment can actually arise from misunderstandings or different communication styles. Past instances where communication led to conflict, it can contribute to guarded interactions. Men, active listening and seeking to understand before being understood can bridge communication gaps. Some individuals replicate the patterns of behavior they've observed or experienced in their families or previous relationships. Growing up in a dysfunctional environment can normalize negative behaviors. Men, you need to recognize and break these cycles. That's a must. Therapy and counseling can be very beneficial for you. A person's personal insecurities or unresolved issues that can be projected onto other people. Some women might disrespect men as a way to deal with their internal struggles. Let's associate that with trauma. Past events or low self-esteem can be sources of these projections. You need to maintain self-awareness and to go get help so you can address and understand behaviors like that. You need to know what they are. You need to recognize that you also have traumas, insecurities, or a lot of social pressures, and you have to understand the source of negative behaviors from either you or her. Individuals can strive for healthier interactions and relationships. You need to be embracing the higher aspects of the divine masculine, like protection, stability, and compassionate leadership, and that can help you move past your lower nature and to learn from these experiences. Personal or societal expectations about relationships, behaviors, or roles may not align with reality, and it might cause friction or disappointment. You've got to be able to discuss expectations openly in your relationships and to understand that everyone comes from different backgrounds and they themselves have different experiences. A woman can revenge or retaliate. And if a woman feels wronged by a particular man or even men, she might resort to revenge as a way to cope or to gain a sense of justice. You need to seek and understand the root of her hurt and consider mediation or counseling to address these deeper issues. A woman might disrespect a man as a way to mask her insecurities or elevate her self-worth. You need to be able to encourage a dialogue about insecurities and reassure one another in relationships. All of these persistent narratives or stereotypes in media, it can shape a woman's perception of men, and that leads to misconceptions or a lot of biases. You need to be able to engage in critical media consumption and to promote narratives that showcase diverse and realistic portrayals of both genders. Financial stresses or imbalances that leads to power struggles and disrespect. What can men learn from that? Advocate for financial transparency and equality in relationships. Living in a stressful or hostile environment can increase the chances of negative interpersonal behaviors. As a man, you need to be able to work towards creating a stable and safe and a nurturing environment. A woman's personal belief system might inherently view men in a particular light, either due to religion, philosophy, or just moral reasons. You need to understand and respect personal beliefs, but also engage in conversations in order to respect one another. Competition or comparison, whether it be in a professional or in a personal arena, that can lead to feelings of jealousy or even envy. You can promote a culture of collaboration over competition and appreciate each other's unique contributions. If you're a man who finds yourself in such situations, you need to recognize the imbalance is the first step towards healing. You need to integrate both energies harmoniously that can lead you to healthier relationships. Try meditation, energy healing, even therapy, and introspection can help you balance this. To clarify, being in your feminine energy is not a negative or even a weak state. The challenges arise when there is an imbalance or when the energy isn't being expressed healthily. Ideally, everyone, regardless of gender, would learn to balance and harness both their feminine and masculine energies. That will give us a well-rounded and harmonious existence.